on the hands, clearly. All the challenges, all the bits and pieces, there's a lot going on in the games, and clearly they were two key moments and decisions that needed to be made.
And even at 1-0 down, going into the second half, you guys never, it seems as if you're preying on fragility that exists within Newcastle a little bit. You always believed you'd get back into the game and probably go on and win the game. Was that belief always there? And in part, was that based on Newcastle's away records, well, stretching back to April?
No, it's based on us, really. Really calm at half time. Wanted to just tweak a couple of aspects where I felt we could improve. A bit more calmness in possession in certain areas of the pitch rather than forcing passes, and I think we did that really well. And controlled transitions again pretty well, probably up until, ironically, Newcastle went down to 10 men, where it became a little bit ragged and disjointed. We couldn't quite get a grip of that. But I just have real belief in what we can produce, and I didn't want us to panic, didn't want us to chase the game. I felt it would or could come by doing the right things, and I think we maintained that.
A lot of things went against you. You must be very pleased with how the players kept going, didn't get frustrated, but believed in what they're trying to do, and didn't let kind of negatives get down.
Yeah, I think what you're alluding to is true. I think there was definitely a sense of certain things not going for us, and I think sometimes you can use that as an excuse to not perform and let it get the better of you. And I've been in that position, obviously, on the pitch. I don't think I always dealt with it particularly well on the pitch, and I try and deal with it better off the pitch. I think our players actually deal with it really, really well. They stuck at it, stuck to the task, and just they were relentless, really, in terms of getting back level and going for the winning goals.
What pleased you most about the performance? Because there's so many positives, the solidity, the continuing creativity, the set pieces, obviously another goal from a throw-in.
Yeah, so much, really. I think the selflessness of the team. I think if you look at the attacking players, I've just mentioned this in the dressing room, all attackers want to attack. It's just pretty obvious because they play in that position. They want to do things with the ball, whether it's attacking crosses, dribbling, shooting, whatever it is. But I think if you look at our attacking players, there's a real selflessness around how they defend, how they recover back, how they do the basics of the game that are absolutely needed. And I think the other aspect around being selfless is the squad, the subs coming in, having a real impact, which they have throughout the time I've been in charge, where they've been not sulking. I know people will be unhappy not to play. I mention it quite frequently, but I think that the impact they have is so crucial. And again, today they made a big influence in the game.
We've spoken a lot about Igor Thiago already this season, but again, great calmness, another penalty put away, second very much running. But also only Erling Haaland now.
Yeah, and a long time to wait to take the penalty, clearly, which isn't easy. I think it was 5.5 minutes. Someone just mentioned to me, which is a long time to have to wait. Whether that's right or not, I'm not quite sure. But he's just in a great vein of form, playing full of confidence, huge personality. Clearly, I think everybody can see that. Loving life, loving football, and long may it continue.
Keith, have you ever seen a throw-in taker as good as Michael Coyote before?
Probably not. No. Well, I certainly haven't worked with one as good. Yeah, he's pretty special. I think he gets a lot of headlines clearly for that. I think if you take that away, he's still a fantastic footballer. The way he approaches the game, the way he likes to defend, has real pride in that, and the constant development in his game. Really keen to learn day to day, week to week basis, which ties into what we do at the club. But the long show is pretty special. Yeah.
Does he practice it a lot, like during the week, or is it just some of these guys doesn't really need to practice that much?
No, we practice all phases of play, and Michael's obviously pretty prevalent in that phase of the game, so he practices pretty frequently. Yeah.
Did you lose the thread of the game around the penalty like I did? When you're in the dugout, it kind of lost its kind of momentum. It's just, I mean, it must be difficult even for a coach to keep up with it, I would have thought.
What can you elaborate? What do you mean?
Well, just the game up until when the penalty was awarded. Well, apart from the first, the diving booking as well, the game kind of was railroading as roller coaching. It must be difficult even for a coach to keep up with the thread. 4 Newcastle subs at one point, changing the goalkeeper. your job is to try and counter that. Was it difficult?
Yeah, just wanted to keep I didn't want the momentum to come out of the game because I felt we were on top. So that was probably the big thing I wanted to try and get across to the players. You do get moments then to get a little bit of information onto some players to be able to just tweak things right side. I wanted Michael Coyote to stay a little bit lower, to leave Dango a bit higher, more 1v1 scenarios. Thought that worked pretty well. Yeah, I think you just need to stay in the game and stay focused. Staff are obviously looking at it through a different lens as well and feeding back little tidbits that may help things. But I thought the players stayed really focused during those moments that you're talking about.
Have you got a deputy long throw taker? In case anything happens?
Got about 5, yeah. Yeah. So your first time? No. Yeah, we've got quite a few. Kevin Schade, Matty Jensen, Ethan Pinnock. We've got a little squad of them.
Were you given any clarification from the officials over the first penalty shout when looking for diving? Because VAR, the replays show it was a penalty, so it was a bit confusing.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it back, but no, I haven't. I've said this before on a few contentious issues. I don't really want to be the type of head coach that really criticises the officials, because I just don't think it's right. It's a difficult job at the best of times. But yeah, I think from what I'm hearing, it's probably a penalty. But no, I haven't had any explanation around it. No.
It was on your home form. I think it's only one defeat, and that was to Man City. What do you put that down to, and yeah, how crucial is that to be so good at home?
Yeah, we want it to be a place where it's pretty uncomfortable for the opposition to come. The performances overall have been of a really, really high standard. It's obviously really important in terms of what we want to achieve and how we take steps forward. So yeah, I think performances inevitably, they're pretty consistent. They will bring the results, and I think we've had that in pretty much most of the games, and I think the confidence has been growing from that. The boys turn up, the fans are engaged, they're really making connections with some of the newer players and the new team, which it is. It's just a feel-good factor clearly at home.
Okay.
Thank
you very much, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. You have to wait till we go through. Hi, bro. You're right, Craig.
Who would like to start, please? Yeah, go on.
Has it become a self-fulfilling prophecy with the way forward? Because you've taken the lead twice now, and it's 7 games away from home, but you can't seem to build on that.
Yeah, very disappointing that we did get ourselves in a really good position again, and we weren't able to really capitalise on that. I think it was always going to be a really tough game today. It was always going to be, a real physical game with how they play, and we needed to stand up to that. I thought we did in the first half and defended their set plays really well. But one moment really of switching off and a couple of mistakes in the build up to their first goal, and we paid the price. And then of course we needed a big reaction to that goal really, and we didn't get it. And very frustrating end to the game.
Do you think that problems are sort of coming from, Eddie? Are the players feeling some kind of pressure, or what do you put your finger on?
Yeah, well, my initial feeling after that game today is different to West Ham. I think West Ham was a different kind of game today. I thought the players were there. I thought they were present. I thought they gave everything to the game physically. But I think it was clear for me, if you watch Newcastle regularly, we were lacking in confidence today. There was a lot of technical mistakes, which is really unlike us, especially in the middle of the pitch where we're usually really fluent. And that contributed then to putting us under pressure. So I think different feeling to West Ham, different emotions. I think it's really important today that I support the players. And we know we're good players. We know we've got a really good team. but we just need to stay grouped together in this difficult period.
You knew there was going to be the throw-ins with the bombardment with the throw-ins. Did the players execute what they'd been asked to do in training?
Well, we did for the majority, but the majority is not enough because it's one mistake and invariably going to get punished. So I thought we stood up to that test very well at times, but yeah, not for the first goal, of course, and ultimately that did change the game.
Eddie, everyone was hoping for reaction, lessons learned from last week. Why didn't that happen today? Is it simply down to confidence, or is it something more?
I think it's multi-factored. I don't think there's one thing. Confidence will now be an issue for sure because I think they're honest players, really good people. They care, they want to do well. But the team's taken a few hits, and I think that showed today. So we've got enough experience to respond in the right way. We've got enough experience to have been there before and then know how to deal with this moment. We know we're going to get criticised. We expect that. I don't see that being a problem for us as long as we stick together and we're really unified in this difficult period.
Just on the criticism, when Brentford were applying the pressure, they grabbed an equaliser, they had a let-off with the penalty. Why did it take until the second penalty and the red card before the changes finally came about?
In what sense?
In terms of Dan Burn sent off, penalty given away, and then the substitutions happened.
Yeah, I mean, of course we're discussing that as the game's going on, but those moments obviously impact everything, because with hindsight you then go, well, you could have done something before that moment. But with Dan's height being pivotal from the set plays and with Joelinton going off, we then suddenly would have become very small. So they're big calls to make, and yeah, of course with hindsight you possibly make a different decision. But of course in that moment I have to weigh up what I'm doing.
Eddie, yeah, Eddie, just on Nick Voldemort, and this isn't a criticism, but has his style impacted you, especially away from home, more than you would ever have realised, given that you scored with your only shot on target today? It was Nick's first touch in the box at the time. Is his style his preferred area where he populates the pitch? Is that really impacting you away from home?
I don't think it's just on Nick, and I think that's, my job is to protect him, and I think he's had a great start to his career here. Yeah, I think we haven't helped him be as effective as he can be, especially today. I thought it was a difficult game for him. Difficult again in the respect that he's the only fit centre forward we have, so again more pressure and more weight on his shoulders, when possibly I'd like to have made a different decision for him. But yeah, it's like the team has to do better. We have to do better in helping him and supporting him. He's giving everything currently, and he's given everything since he's been. He's had to take that weight on his shoulders on his own. It's not been easy. But of course we need to look at also how we're performing away from home, and if there's changes to be made, then we need to make them.
Eddie, what was the mood like in the dressing room at full time then? Are any of the key, the experienced players speaking up and simply saying, look, this isn't good enough right now?
Yeah, we've got an experienced team, and occasionally those players may speak. But I think it was important for me to speak, and it always is important for me to speak and give my message to the team. In times of adversity and difficulty, I think is when your true character is tested and when your true character is revealed. And I think we need to be very calm, but we need to be measured, and we need to be reflective, and we need to then come out of this period with a way forward and a way that we're going to be successful away from home and at home, and get some more points.
And what would your message to supporters be who are perhaps looking at this away form and are concerned about where the Premier League season might be going?
My message is that we know it's not good enough, and I take full responsibility for that, and the work to putting that right starts now, and that's all that I can do in this moment.
Any update on the injuries, Anthony Gordon as well as Joelinton, Nick Pope? What information do you have?
Nick Pope suffered concussion, and that's why we took him off. As soon as we were made aware of that, then he was withdrawn. Joelinton, I'm not sure, it looked like a knock, but I haven't had a full discussion or debrief from the medical team on him. Anthony, is a minor injury, so he'll miss England. I think that's it.
And is it a good thing to have the international break coming up now after a couple of results in the league like that, or would you have preferred to have the players still together?
Yeah, I think I'd have preferred another game quite quickly, but maybe the period of reflection and the period to allow us to reset is a good thing. We will work hard during the break. And I think the biggest thing is to make sure we stay together and we're motivated for what's to come.
Chris and then Kieran to wrap up, please.
Eddie, last year you obviously had the low of coming here and losing that game, and then afterwards was sort of a reshuffle in the sides. Andrews and Eddie moved to number 6. Do you see that there needs to be a fundamental reset away from home in terms of how you approach those games, or was it not as simple as that?
Well, if there is a reshuffle, it needs to be done in the right way. It needs to be done with analysis and then detailed thought as to how the team's going to go forward. And I'm not adverse to that. I mean, look, never going to do the same thing continually, and we haven't done and expect a different result. I don't think that's right. So if there is changes, we'll look at it, and we'll try and figure out what those changes need to be.
You mentioned losing the lead at West Ham last week, then yesterday. I think you've lost three times in the last 5 you've taken the lead in a game. You've lost them. I think it was the previous 56 before that. Where do you think that issue has come from?
I think it's probably associated with our lack of goals, really. I think there's, going 1-0 up today, you'd expect us to capitalise on that and establish ourselves as a stronger team in the game. I don't think we did. I think we became weaker in the game for the goal, which was the same at West Ham. So that's a big frustration for me. I want my teams to attack and to be continually looking to score. We don't look like that team currently. So that's why I said earlier we have issues to fix. There's no doubt about that, and the process for that starts now.
Kieran?
John, ahead of this game, said this was a game to earn your money as players. How frustrated are you that you come to another tough away ground, having done well at home again midweek, and then it just doesn't come together yet again on the road?
Yeah, I can't sort of give you a satisfactory answer to that, because it's not satisfactory, the fact that we haven't done our jobs and we feel we've let everybody down. I think when you do that, when you make mistakes, it's not intentional from anyone, and all you can do is hold your hands up and go, right, okay, let's try and fix it, and that's what we're going to try and do.
I mean, you look at the table now, 2 points above the relegation zone. Is that a concern for you, confidence, and if you're getting results say at home, but then if it keeps happening away, can you kind of get dragged into a place you don't want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the wrong end of the table for us, but it is what it is. That's the reality, and we can't change it. All we can do is affect our next performances to try and change it. And we knew potentially the start of the season would be slightly choppy for us as we entered into a transitional period with the team. But there's no excuses for us. As I say, we take full accountability for what we're delivering, and only we can change it.
Thanks very much, everyone.
He's down for England now because of concussion.
Yeah, he won't go with England. Yeah, it's 12 days, I think. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.